Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and I thought I screwed up when, in fact, I did not actually screw up. I thought I was broadcasting into another channel, so if you got a quick blip saying that I was live and then suddenly I wasn't live again, that would be why I wasn't live again, even though I was live again in the right channel. Don't you hate when you think you're gonna make a mistake and then you don't, but you correct it, though you didn't need to correct it? Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo. You've tuned into another live edition of the Lockergnome Daily Report where we cannot rewind. You should be able to rewind, though. It's an AMA every day, a Q&A with you and me. The first question has already been asked in the chat. We did a live video on the other YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris Pirillo. I gave you my choice of the best smartphone case of 2017. That has now been posted. And I know everyone probably disagreed with my choice, but what are you going to do? We can't agree all the time. So the next thing that I have to answer, the first question for this video, is Vegemite versus Marmite. I don't know if I've ever had Marmite. I had Vegemite, and people were making me worried that it wouldn't be that great. And I liked it. I liked Vegemite a lot. I really did. It's kind of black olive-y, like a tangy black olive burnt flavor. I love that. Zach Brajawi came in with the first super chat, another new moderator here in our Discord chat room, which you can join by either becoming a sub of mine on Twitch or by becoming a patron of mine on Patreon. The links are in the video description. He said, Uno, which I love. I love that game. I don't know if they have a Star Wars Uno. They have a ton of Star Wars games. Some of them are on sale right now. I'm not buying them right now because Jedi's just not into table games. But at some point in the future, when she is into that kind of game play, I will be picking up the Star Wars editions of Clue, Monopoly. Monopoly's on sale. I think it's down to $11. I don't know if I ever want to play Monopoly with my child, though. Might be kind of dangerous. It's ended relationships, that game. Uno, though. I love the game Uno. Love the game Uno. Mark Flores comes in with a super chat as well. I'm not sure if we got comments with Mark, but I do have to remind everybody that you can also head over to go.tagjag.com/freepoints. Install that app on iOS or Android. You can earn gift cards courtesy of... Oh, they do have it! They do have it! Oh, okay, so I know what I'm using my go.tagjag.com/freepoints points for the Uno game. I gotta add... Hang on, I'm gonna add that to my wish list. I'm doing it right now. Give me a second. Amazon wish list. Yeah, I have an Amazon wish list still. Link is in the video description. Star Wars Uno. I have to get that. I have to. It's got to be cheap, too. Oh, yeah, it's only $7. That's not bad. Okay, I had no... Wait, is that Uno? Duels. That's Duels. No, that's not Uno. Wait, where do you see that? I don't see Star Trek Uno. Wait, where do you see that, though? That's not... Oh, man, you got me all excited. Star Wars Dominoes? I like that. But I don't see Star Wars Uno. Where are y'all seeing it, man? Oh, I don't think that's what I needed. Duels. Is that supposed to be like Uno, then? I'm not as excited about that. Because I grew up with Uno. Oh, the classic game of war with a Star Wars twist. Well, that looks like Uno. I could not find it on Amazon. Where else is it? Is it only available overseas? Dang it. Ugh. Okay, we've got another super chat here. We're moving on from Star Wars Uno, I guess. Tony Yoon, question 568. Don't you miss biting into a hot, juicy beef patty topped with melted cheese and sizzling bacon, wrapped in a sesame bun, and washing the greasy meat juice and saltiness with an ice-cold Coca-Cola? So, yes and no. Yes, because I was accustomed to that. Yes, because I'm experienced with that particular scenario, but no, in the sense that I know what all of those foodstuffs are going to do to my body. So even though there's an immediate satisfaction with flavor, what happens actually within digestion and integration of those the foodstuffs, how it goes into your body. And what your body does with it, and what happens with your body and your blood, and the heart and all that, your veins and your arteries and all that stuff. So I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. Nor do I miss, I guess the flavor so much that I can ignore what an animal had to go through, or suffering of an animal to go through, simply because I needed to eat something that my body did not necessarily need. It's not, eating that product is not, my survival is not contingent on eating that, and eating an animal that could recognize or can see itself, its reflection in the mirror and recognize something. These are animals with feelings, animals with emotions, just as complex as humans, though they're not sentient. I don't feel that the flavor outstrips their right to live. In directly killing the animal specifically for slaughter, or raising the animal specifically for slaughter, specifically for me, even though I did not need that. So no, I don't miss that at all. There it is. I don't know what AliExpress is, but it's not on Amazon. Well, if anybody finds it out in the wild, let me know, because I've never heard of that other place. I don't like buying through like third-party places. Yeah, I think accessory manufacturers are running out of ideas, going to the fringes just to see what they can get. Oh yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I always like the idea. Oh, Zach, you got see this. I gave moderators in chat the ability to add emoji, so now they're adding their own faces as emoji. That's just, it's not what I was thinking was going to happen. But you know what? You can get a Zach emoji and a lumpy emoji in Discord chat now. Someone in YouTube asked, "What do you think about Jar Jar Binks? Should he have been revealed as a Sith leader?" I think that would have been amazing. I think that would have been really neat. It would have been not vindicating, I think, but I think there was something more at play with Jar Jar, and George pulled back, for semi-obvious reasons, with Jar Jar in the original trilogy. I guess Ahmed was very happy in terms of how Jar Jar met his fate and died, but I don't know. I guess I would have preferred something like that rather than just this bumbling doofus, but Tony Yoon comes in with another super chat. 569, question 569. If 3D printing meat and cloning animals were possible, would that change your mind? So, 3D printing meat that's not connected to an animal with a nervous system and no pain would potentially allay that concern. However, there's still a question in terms of how that protein would be ingested into my body. And that's where a lot of dangers in terms of health are concerned. Red meat is considered I don't know which class, but a carcinogen by the World Health Organization. So even if you can look past the whole moral issue or being able to, maintain some amount of cognitive dissonance in terms of what you're doing to an animal and you're eating the animal, I don't think you can get past the health aspects. So I would turn more towards the pea proteins, which, they're meat-ish. I can't say that they're a full-on replacement for what meat has been, but they're certainly a lot better for you, despite, them not having great ingredients themselves. Not even cloning animals, I think, would change my mind, because, again, an animal may suffer. And that's more of a secondary issue for me. A primary issue for Diana, a secondary issue for me. But that's my choice. I think it's going to happen, and I think once we can find, not meat alternatives, but look past the idea that we have to harm an animal to eat it when we don't need to eat animals to survive, I think once we get past that point, I think humans are going to rediscover their humanity. The thing that separates us, very much so from many in the animal kingdom is the fact that we have a moral compass, that we have, that sense of doing right and wrong. And that's more on the emotional side of deciding this for yourself. And I choose more of the sciencey side, more of the, hey, that doesn't do a body good. That's what keeps me centered. Science keeps me centered. You can change me, or you can change my feelings by showing me facts. People are just saying Kevin Sujihara ruined the Justice League. I've never heard this guy. Did you ruin the Justice League movie and DCEU altogether? Even thoughts? Wonder Woman was fine. I guess I liked Super Friends growing up, the cartoon. So it's not like I'm slagging DC. But, I don't know, the DC movies lately, I don't know. I like Christian Bale's Batman. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a solid portrayal of Bruce Wayne, from my understanding of Bruce Wayne. Though I'm, again, not steeped in comic lore. I would have hoped for better, just to enjoy a movie. That's all I look forward to. I just want to enjoy something. If I watch something, I want to enjoy it. I don't care who it is, where it comes from. Like, if I watch a Star Trek movie, I just want to enjoy it. If I watch Valerian, I just want to enjoy it for what it is, not for what it isn't. So I guess I've always watched those movies kind of with not a tempered expectations, but at the same time, just not expecting them to be amazing. And so when they turn out to not be amazing, I'm not disappointed. I'm like, yeah, I can take it or leave it. I'll be fine. And I know that other people are going to disagree with me, and let you disagree with me. You can disagree with me all day long. We can still get along. And we can still talk through these things. We can still debate. We can have healthy discussions around these things. Entertainment it's subjective. Some people are going to enjoy them. Some people aren't. I have a feeling that the next Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, out in less than 2 weeks, is going to cause just as much controversy. In fact, I'm hoping, and I don't know how well this is going to work, but like I did after the release of The Last Jedi, for like weeks I did videos like 3 reasons why this, or 3 thoughts about X, or 3 thoughts about Y. I think I'm going to be doing some Star Wars radar videos, live videos. I know it's yet another video to do every day, but I think it will be fascinating to dive into. I'll write them out and probably come up with a solid list to push us through at least a month of talking points around The Last Jedi, and certainly taking suggestions from the community as well. But we'll be getting into some Star Wars radar content here in the next little while. One of those that I did became very controversial because I talked about how Legends is never coming back. The idea of Legends canon is where it's at with Star Wars. Everything else is, to me, it's secondary value. I've not eaten meat in 2 weeks due to a mouth surgery. Surprisingly feel good. I may cut it out of my diet. Well, it doesn't surprise me that you feel good, because it's not good for your body. Don't listen to me, though. Please don't, when it comes to that. Listen to actual people who know what they're talking about. Doctors. Dr. Michael Greger would be great. Esselstyn. There's also, who else? McDougall. Those are 3 doctors that I would suggest you would pay attention to, at least as far as that kind of thing is concerned. Those with no agenda, as opposed to listening to those with an agenda. I don't have an agenda. I'm just here to talk. I'm just here to answer. Would you watch a Star Wars musical? Asks someone on YouTube. I would. Heck yeah, I'd be in. Sure, why not? I mean, it'd be different. I don't think people would like it that much, but I'd get a kick out of it. I thought it was neat. There was a high school that did a Star Wars musical at one time, and it was a horrible quality. I think it was VHS recorded quality. It wasn't amazing, but I thought it was kind of neat. It was interesting to watch. But I don't know if they'd ever go, full bore. I think what would be interesting, though, to watch would be a musical that not about Star Wars, but like a musical placed within the Star Wars canon. So it would be like, I'm Han Solo and I'm watching a musical. Not that would happen. But a musical produced as though it was going out over the HoloNet. That would be cool. That would be... I think that would fly. That would work for me. That would absolutely work for me. But doing a Star Wars musical, I don't know about that. Kevin is one of the WB's presidents or something. See, I don't even know. They say he rushed Justice League movie for his early paycheck. That's possible. Yeah, I think a lot of the business of entertainment is business. It's not entertainment. That's much to your chagrin, but it's true. If it don't make money, it ain't gonna fly. I think far too many projects get greenlit because they see dollar signs. Don't get me wrong. I think certain franchises are cash cows. I'm not gonna slag these movie industry moguls for trying to make a buck, but you can't do it at the expense of what it is that you're doing. So, for example, some people would look at me and say, Chris, you're pushing Patreon, you're pushing Twitch for subscribers and super chats. Yeah, but I'm not doing it at the cost of everybody else. Y'all are watching this. It ain't costing you anything unless you're supporting it. If you're watching it, you're not supporting it. You're just watching it passively. But the supporters are helping make it happen. So I'm not answering questions. I give this time to everybody. This is open time for everybody. YouTube chatters, super chatters, Twitch chatters, Patreon chatters. This is for you. So I'm not doing something just for certain people. I'm doing it for everybody. And making sure that people who are super chatting definitely get elevated attention. I mean, they deserve that. They're the ones making this possible. So Zach Brajawi, to scroll up, comes in with a super chat. With all the tech being introduced into the classroom, do you think tech will empower students to control their own learning? Or do you feel it will prevent analog thinking and learning? Zach, man, that is a fantastic question. I love these questions. First of all, I have to ask, I've been invited by a local library to do Star Wars sessions or Star Wars days at a library. I need some ideas for activities for kids. I know there's Star Wars in the classroom. It's a Twitter handle, and Star Wars Reads Day. I'm going to be trying to gather Star Wars types of materials for it, like different activities for kids, like, drawing activities or playing activities, to put together kind of a curriculum to be able to potentially do it on a monthly basis. I would love to have a monthly Star Wars Day at a library. I would love to lead that. I would just, I would treasure that, to be a part of the educational process and to infuse my own fandom into that. So I'm asking that of you before I move on to the question. I think technology, for the longest time, has been more powerful outside the classroom than inside the classroom for a few reasons. The technology that you may have at home is probably newer than the technology they have access to in the classroom because of budgets. Budgets are a big deal. And when a child, or even an adult, has a chance to use something more powerful outside the classroom than inside the classroom, they may have a chance to learn independent of said classroom. So I believe technology is an educational driver, and it's more powerful independent of the classroom and more powerful in the hands of the individual than not. That being said, I believe a proctor is very critical. A guide, a teacher, if you will, is critical in terms of how anyone harnesses that technology or uses that technology or adjusts it. And I think that should be driven based upon goals, not memorizing how to do a certain process, step 1, step 2, step 3. More like, okay, the goal is you are going to create a project such that we're going to create a flyer to be printed out and posted. And you have to create it. You have to make sure all the information's there. You have to make it compelling in this so that you can effectively use the tools at your disposal, however you care to use them, and figure out on your own how to use the software to be able to achieve the goal. Technology can empower. Technology, again, isn't the destination. Technology is not a destination. It's an enabler. I know you're not getting mad at me, but I need to hammer that point home. It's not the software that's being used, it's what the software can do. And as a part of that, for the students to feel empowered, to control the software, they need to go after the goal. They need to see that goal, not step 1, step 2, step 3, which I believe curriculum teaches to. Like, you need to do this, then you need to do this, then you need to do this. No, I say, like, let the kids figure it out. Like, here's the software. Have at it. Do what you need to do. Trust me, kids will figure it out. They can. In fact, I feel that Jedi, even at 3, and I feel even at 2, is very much inclined to do something on her own. Like, I've been, like, when she's been frustrated with something, she'll push through it. And there's times when I'll ask him, like, do you need help? And she'll, no. And like, I want to do it. And she'll do it. Very rarely will I interject. Sometimes she'll say, I can't do it, Dad. Can you help? I'm saying, no, I believe you can do it. Let's try it. So I'll have her kind of walk through the process of completing the task on her own. And I believe she has the wherewithal, even at 3, to believe that she can do something that she's hoping to do, assuming that the object enables her to do that very thing that she's hoping to do. So I believe that tech can empower students to control their own learning so long as they're given the ability to control their own learning. And that, to me, is where teachers and schools and curriculum get in the way of the process, of the learning process. So to encourage the critical thinking skill set that's required of a user, of a person, of an individual, when it comes time to put something together, you can do group activities wherein, okay, you've got these Lego bricks, and you need to make your robot construction, whatever it is, accomplish this task. You just have to make it move this object from point A to point B. That's your job. Here's the software. Here are your bricks. Team A, Team B, Team C, Team D. Go. You've got however long is expected. That, to me, is where technology can be powerful, inside or outside of the classroom, because you've got to let people play with this stuff. And that to me is how I learned technology. I had a chance to play with it. I couldn't figure out a manual. I was like, this manual doesn't make any sense back in the day. But if you've been given the tool set and the ability around that tool set, you have to be given that power. And you may run into problems. Like, I can't figure out how to do X, Y, and Z. That's where a teacher can come in handy. That's where a proctor can come in handy. So I don't think it's going to prevent thinking and learning so long as it's harnessed properly and used in context. And maybe y'all disagree with me. Maybe y'all agree with me. That's how I feel. That's how I've always felt about technology. That's how I will feel about it with Jedi. To the point where, when she's doing something, I'm very careful not to wrestle it away from her. As I mentioned, just let her kind of work through it on her own, assuming that she's not going to break it. Like, if it's a concern, like, hang on, Jedi, be careful, it's a little gentle. You got to be careful with it. Don't want her to break anything. Christopher Drawn comes in with an amazing super chat, another amazing super chat, a follow-up to earlier dialogue, although I'm very grateful. Zach, I think, has set the title for this video. What era of canon do you think the Star Wars live-action TV show will take place? Oops. I'm hoping Old Republic. Whether they call it that or not, I'm hoping to go old. Like, I think movies can go maybe old. I'm going to say old. Not new. I'd like to see, and the reason why is because I like, I kind of like how I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, by the way, tonight is when the season premiere is. I know where I'm going to be, baby. So sit in front of the television like I don't normally do. The way I like it kind of interplaying with other elements of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is very light. I mean, you hear like reference points every so often, but it's not heavy on it. So in the Old Republic, you may see or you may hear and people playing lip service to fans, or I guess the story playing to the fans. I'd like to see less of that, and I'd like to see some Old Republic stuff. I'd like to see some future stuff, but I think the future stuff would probably be saved for more of film, because if only because of larger budgets. But if you go deep into the past and it's heavy into story, you don't have to worry so much about the special effects, and you don't have to worry so much about this, but you can dive deeper into stories and characters, etc. And I think the Old Republic would be a fantastic I would like to see that explored more than anything. As usual, great answer. Well, thank you, Zach. I did my best, but I've thought about this. This is how I feel. I was serious about the Star Wars classroom elements thing too. I've got to figure out like if I can get free things for my library plan from manufacturers who may have overages, like Hasbro or Zach or any one of these things. I'm like, hey, could we do this? Can we do this? Do you have any overages I can bring to the classroom? Let's see here. Hardware could evolve at 1/100th the speed of software, and it would still matter less for future progression of technological learning and teaching. Software is everything, man. Don't worry. You don't need to install Discord. You can just use the web-based version. Basic computer programming should start being taught in elementary school, in my opinion. I think it actually is. I think computer learning is being taught early on. The challenge is that teachers rarely know more or rarely have as much access to the technology as do kids. Kids very frequently know more. Kids have more access outside the classroom. Teachers are older. They weren't digital natives. They didn't grow up with the smartphone in their hands, and that's the way it's always going to be. But that's all the more reason why the teachers have got to step back and let the kids take charge. I think that just shows you can encourage that kind of behavior, and it should be. And STEM is critical. Male, female, doesn't matter. Use technology to achieve a goal. see here. My wife is a teacher and agrees with you that technology is an enabler. She has Kindle Fires in her classroom to encourage critical thinking and finding answers on your own. I'm telling you, dude, be there and let technology be the enabler. And the Kindle Fires are probably good products because they're super cheap. Jedi is getting one for Christmas. We haven't decided who's going to deliver it to her. Like, sometimes Santa Claus brings this present, Daddy brought this present, Mommy got you this present. I think the Kindle Fire may come from, I don't know, the Wookiees have been bringing a lot of presents, leading up. She got a pen with a stamper, a BB-8 pen with a stamper today from the Wookiees in her stocking, the little tiny stocking. That's our Life Day season celebration. We haven't really decided who's going to bring her that computer. It may have been Princess Leia. Leia may have delivered, because Leia's trying to enable the STEM, the technology. Like, Leia brought this. Leia, she brought this for you, so that Jedi knows that her first tablet came from Leia Organa, the General Leia. So yeah, there's many ways to accomplish a goal, and I say go for whatever you can, whatever you can use in or outside the classroom. Sparkplug says, "Oh, are you watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too? Did you just start? Have you caught up?" I had to binge on it. I didn't get into it first season, then a friend recommended it. Michelle recommended it, and I was like, oh, okay, I like it. And I've been hooked ever since. Love it. Personally thought the first 3 seasons were good, then it started to feel really drawn out. Nah, I disagree. It's only gotten better with time, as far as I'm concerned. I love it. The episodes just go so quickly. So quickly. Install Discord, just prefer the interface over the browser. Oh, fair enough. I just don't like installing software. The Tech Toy of the Year is on sale, 20% off Piper Computer Kit with Minecraft Raspberry Pi Edition. That is not the Tech Toy of the Year. I don't know who said it's the Tech Toy of the Year, but it's good to know that it's on sale. Cool. Not the Tech Toy of the Year. I don't know if I have a Tech Toy of the Year. Do I have a Tech Toy of the Year? I actually kind of do. It is a toy. I just haven't been able to surface it yet. It's not the Surface. I haven't been able to talk about it yet. But I've got it. Liz, you know what it is. I just can't talk about it because I'm waiting to hear back from one particular company. And I have it. I do have it, and I have used it. And everyone's going to love it. On the point of GPS being an enabler, I totally agree and have a personal example. I used to hate driving out of town because I hate getting lost. It's almost a phobia. GPS empowered me to drive anywhere I want with confidence. It's awesome. Oh, yeah. I remember delivering pizzas as a teen, and I hated it because you couldn't find where you needed to go. Oh, it was horrible. Horrible. But now with the advent of GPS, it's impossible to think of what life would be like without it. I love that we're living in times where technology and science are becoming a huge part of the mainstream pop culture. This is all the more reason that what I do today is different from what I did 20 years ago. Tech is mainstream. Technology is not... It's not interesting to talk about the smartphone. Sorry, folks. It's not interesting to talk about a computer. Sorry. It's not interesting to talk about a tablet. It's not interesting to talk about a 3D printer. It's not. At all. It's interesting to talk about what those things do. Period. End of story. Technology is not a destination. It's an enabler. Why do I subscribe to absolutely no technology content? Me. Because I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear people talking about it being a destination. That's what they do. That's what other technology channels do. They talk about it being a destination. It's not. It's an enabler. E-Tron says, do you ever see yourself buying another game console in the future? What would make you want to buy one? It depends on Jedi and any games that she might see. Probably a Nintendo. Whatever new Nintendo may happen to be out at the time. We're pretty well served right now with our game console needs. The entertainment console of choice, is we have all our entertainment or all our gaming consoles currently in the master bedroom, just for cleanness, consistency. We don't even have a DVD player in the den where we watch a lot of TV. It's all digital. But for games, I don't know. It's largely contingent on Jedi and what she wants. Watch the first episode. Oh yeah. You're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Scrolling down a little further, just remember where that ended. Oh yeah, I remember where it ended too. Well, you wouldn't be spoiling anything. I am curious to know what Coulson's doing on a starship, though. I like space stuff. Orville's episode last night I thought was pretty solid too. Question 570. How do you feel about Marvel stars should be someone to look up to, but Daisy... Oh, about Marvel stars should be someone to look up to, but Daisy is very not safe for work on her social media. Oh, okay. So there being a disconnect between the character and the person. I love that, personally. I love it. Because to me, like, Mark Hamill, like, and I know you're talking Marvel, you know, you're talking about Chloe Bennett, or Daisy, or I still call her, oh, God, I was just mentioning it last night, too. Not Daisy, but, you know how we got to know her? Her name? And I'm blanking on her name. For some reason, I'm blanking on her name. I'll pick it up. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Hang on, let me scroll up. I gotta make sure I don't miss any of these questions. So how I feel is pretty good because I like seeing that real person come out, not the character. People that you don't follow people for their character ever. That's a really bad idea. Don't. People aren't parodies of themselves. They're themselves. I respect someone more, or potentially not respect someone as much for who they are, not for who they play. That's a big deal. I think companies would be wise to embrace that. So Mark Hamill, he politically he thinks a lot like me. I like that. I guess Chloe thinks a lot like me as well. I like when they're not safe for work because you know what? They don't play their character on social media. They play themselves. They are themselves. So I have no problem with that. Follow up. Sometimes teachers are directed to use a new tool more often. Yeah, it's curriculum. Even though they just learned about it and they hardly understand it. In that scenario, do you think teachers would get lost considering their text purpose and end up trying to fit a circle into a square? Will all students be able to access and leverage this tech? And how long will this tech be relevant and supported? Oh, dude, you're asking loaded questions here. The speed at which technology evolves is staggering. While it's not likely that your devices or tools will be outdated in lesson or even in school, there are instances where those resources can go away suddenly. All the more reason you don't teach someone how to use a tool. You teach them to accomplish a goal with said tool, because the tool will inevitably change. It's pretty much what I've already said before. I mean, that's the nature of the beast. Software will change and the hardware will change. What does Jedi do better than you at the age of 5? Or the age of 3? My God, I gave her 2 years. I think she has... she's more... I hate to say this. She's more considerate. She's probably more polite than I am. Sometimes I have to think twice. I'm like, that's right. I probably should be a little more. She's a little more affectionate than I am, so she does that. She does that a lot better than me, and she does that a lot more frequently than I do. Sky, that was it. Couldn't remember. Sky. That was it. I even knew that. I was even thinking that last night. Sky. I knew that. Oh, we got a Grinch emoji. Nice. See, I love these new moderators. They're adding all sorts of new emoji. I love when actors act. Yeah, but I adore how Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool in real life. Well, it's true. Like, that's why he was cut out for that role. It's perfect. It's a good balance between the two. All right, everybody. I'm going to start winding down, if only because I think we've now hit the peak TLDR for the day. Moving on to Creator Advocate. YouTube.com/Creator Advocate to answer another question. We have another one in the queue. Thank you, everybody, for all your super chats and your regular chats. And just watching in general. Thank you for your support. I do appreciate it. Etron asks, when do you think Jedi will surpass your technological knowledge? By the time she's 5. Easily. As a child. Easily. What age did you first get into Star Wars? Just curious. I couldn't remember the age. I think in the 3rd grade. Whatever age that would be. 3rd grade was when I really got into it. Whenever the AT-AT driver was available. What, 83? No, it would have been earlier than that. 82, 81? Something like that. I was young. And it's been with me ever since. That Star Wars figure has been with me long before I ever had a computer. For sure. So, thank you for turning on notifications for these live broadcasts. It's important to do, otherwise you don't know that they're happening. Turn on those notifications. Obviously, you're subscribed. Follow me on Twitch. Sub to me over there, if you can. Also, consider becoming a patron. It's a nice thing to do. Thank you again for being with me and listening and watching and sharing and just being an awesome person, because you're an awesome person for having watched. I love you. I appreciate you. At this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.